Savant.
Oh my stars, Cole Caulfield ties it.
He's in. He scores! Oh my! Delmanoff!
What's up, everybody? Good evening, Tuesday, October 14th. It's the post-game show of the Curfew Boys podcast. The Montreal Canadiens open their season in Montreal tonight. Maybe not opening their season, but now the season really starts at home. That's where it always should be. The Bell Center against the Seattle Kraken. I am Sammy. He is my cousin Chris. Hey now.
Oh,
Like I said, it's not season opener, but for us, it feels like the season. When you get your first game at the Bell Center and you come out with a freaking dramatic win in overtime, the way they did tonight, feels like the season has just begun. Final score of 5-4. Before we get into details of the game, we want to thank you all for joining us. If you're joining us live on YouTube, thank you so much. Please click like and subscribe. It is absolutely free. We are also live on Twitter, also known as X. If you are joining us there, thank you so much. Please give us a follow. That's the only way we can feel the love. All of our episodes are available, audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, any podcast platform, not podcast platform. If you enjoy what you like, and if you enjoy what you like, yeah, obviously, if you like what you hear from us, please give us an honest rating and review. Give us a 5-star rating. It's the only way we can feel the love. It is all free. Share this with your fellow Montreal Canadiens friend out there, whether he's near or far, he or she, doesn't matter who it is. Please share us. We want to keep growing this Montreal Canadiens community. This episode of the Curfew Boys is sponsored by Habs Cave. Let's start with him. Sunil, our boy Sunil at the Habs Cave. Pretty sure he was there at the game tonight. Our boy Anthony was at the game there tonight too. Lucky bastard. Yeah, Habs Cave. You know, pretty much the man cave's dream for any Habs fan. Great content regarding Montreal Canadiens memorabilia, but most importantly, Sunil, awesome guy, awesome human being, big member of the Montreal Canadiens community. Give him a follow, Habs Cave on Instagram or TikTok as well, or TikTok. Mike's Barbecue Rub. My buddy Mike in RDP owns his own company, creates his own seasoning for barbecue. Listen, it's still barbecue season as far as I'm concerned. It could be used for anything such as fish, vegetables, meat, chicken. If it could be thrown on the grill, you definitely need to try Mike's Barbecue Rub. He also uses his season for his very own brand, kettle chips, barbecue kettle chips, Mike's Barbecue Rub. They're absolutely amazing. Give my boy Mike a shot on Instagram and TikTok as well. For more information, you could visit mikesbarbecuerub.com. Last but not least, folks, never forget to rub your meat, especially after tonight's victory. And last but not least, this episode is sponsored by Les Délices Lafrenière. Some of the best pastries in the Montreal area, whether it's cakes, cannolis, and especially zeppelis during the month of March. If you're Italian, you know what we're talking about. If you know, you know. You could visit any of their 6 locations: Rosemere, Brossard, Saint-Julie, Montreal, West Pointe-Claire, and our hometown, St. Leonard. Mostly the rest of the Curfew Boys, maybe not me and Chris. But anyways, if you know where St. Leonard is, you need to go visit Les Délices Lafrenière. You can visit lesdeliceslafrenière.com. Give them a follow on Instagram as well. They are simply delicious, simplement délicieux. Chris, what a game.
What a game.
Big 2 points.
Fans got a hell of a treat tonight at the Bell Center. And as always, Montreal does any sort of ceremony, home opener, honoring of a past player. They just do it better than anybody else. And we're always reminded year after year.
That touch with the mask, with Ken Dryden's mask on the net, and just having the light glowing on the nets.
Tears in the eyes.
But you know what? Like even seeing past teammates that were on the bench, like just applauding, and them too getting a bit of an ovation. It was nice to see that. You know, who was there? Yvan Cournoyer was there. Jean Hull, Mario Tremblay, Serge Savard. I think Bouchard was there too.
Yvon, did you say Yvon Lambert was there?
Lambert was. I said Cournoyer, but Yvon Lambert was there too. Yeah, it's. Yeah, it was great. It was beautiful. Well done. Like on Twitter, everybody, like all across the board, was like, Nobody does it better than Montreal. Nobody does it better than Montreal. Nobody does it better than Montreal. And it's a fact. Like we're just that classy organization that it means so much to hockey fans, to everybody in the city, in this country. But nobody does it better than us. I actually liked. I kind of liked the introduction. I was aware that every player was coming out to their own song, their own theme song. I was a bit on the fence about it, but I thought it was cool. I thought the DJ did a pretty good job transitioning from one song to the other. My worry was that like when a player comes out with their song, it goes quiet for a couple of seconds, then wait for the other player to come out. But no, I thought the DJ she did a great job. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a little bit unique. It has a little bit of that baseball touch where like every player comes out to their own theme song when they come at bat. But no, this was pretty cool. The introduction video, the graphics on the ice, and then the like the big pump up video that they did from last season. I thought it was great. I really did.
Yeah. I was gonna say I actually like took notes as they were coming out. It was like Cole Caulfield coming out for Money for
Dude,
Nothing
that
with
was
that
my
clip
favorite.
was the best. That
My
was my
favorite.
favorite
That was
by
my
far.
favorite one.
And
I
it
love that
truly
one.
had me wondering as to whether or not Suzuki truly did pick the song. Like that's my debate that I'd like to have. Did Suzuki pick Fix You, or was it kind of, you know, get it to the point of playing Fix You at the end? Yeah, but
Maybe.
nevertheless, nice touch.
I like Demidov's. I think Animal from 3 Days Grace. I
Yep.
I like that one. I like Dobesh coming
I
out with oh god, I have the song. I have the title at the tip of my tongue. Um
he didn't make my list, but he
no,
had
no,
a
no,
decent.
but I like that song. I completely forgot the title. Who else I thought was pretty good?
Jake Evans came out to the stroke, which was
Yeah, yes,
fantastic.
yes, yes.
Uh,
Gallagher would enter
Yeah,
Sandman,
that
and
was fitting. That was very fitting. Anderson with "Sweet Child of Mine."
yeah.
I don't have all the players. Like I said, these are
No,
my
no, no.
personal
Those.
favorites. I
Yeah, no,
liked,
same.
the show goes. I don't know if that's the name of the song, but show goes on. Kirby Doc. I might. Um, I'm not going to start singing before we're going to be losing fans if I start singing. But uh, da, 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 do, 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 do. Uh, anyways, yeah, I we just lost some fans with me singing Jesus.
that's that's okay. That's all right.
Kapanen was a little Mr. Brightside for Matheson, I thought was so fitting. Like,
Yeah,
just kind of like a 90s, and 80s, 90s child that you have there, grew up on that,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
fitting.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
liked it.
Yeah.
I
No,
liked it.
no, I liked it. It was different. Everybody, I wonder if it's something they're gonna do again next year. Maybe not, but no, I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. Like
Yeah, and
I didn't think it was amazing, but like I liked it. It was all right.
I
I
liked
didn't hate it.
everything up until, I thought, like, I don't know, I would have given it if look, there are bound to be comments about it. I think on the overall wasn't the absolute best, but it was unique, and I'm happy that Montreal tried to do something that was encouraging. Not individuality, but just like, to showcase everybody individually. That's, there's a lot of unique parts of the team, and it's fun that they gave them that leeway to express themselves in a certain way. So good on them. And
Yeah,
it's
completely
it's
agree.
not very much. It's not very Montreal like. They managed to, give it a little pinch of the modern, and that
Mhm.
flexibility and that creativity, while also honoring their history. Like, anyways, 8 on 10 for me. 8.5 on 10
I
for me.
couldn't
Not
agree more. Yeah.
think.
No, so the game started I thought I thought for a good part of the game it was a mixture of not having luck on their side but also not being too opportunistic on some of their chances. But then when it came to these one or two perfect plays, it worked. So to me, it's the Ivan Demidov play in that first period, just coming in up on the right side, stopping and just finding Newhook going to the net, which
Yeah.
obviously, like Newhook, like for now he's not gonna miss it. Like we joke with him about Newhook, but guy, a guy that you can see is clearly a lot more comfortable playing as a winger than as a centerman.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the big difference.
I think, I will allude back to that speed. I think, uh, especially especially Newhook has that speed to get themselves into really good positions, blow past and lose and blow past the defenseman of the other team. And Demidov has the talent to thread the needle and put perfect tape to tape passes together. Demidov, like I can't believe I'm going to say this about what we'll get into that discussion of individual players, but this is what I'm going to say: the Montreal Canadiens. Um, More than anything, and to your point, when you say they weren't opportunistic, I think they were just looking for those perfect plays, and
Hmm.
it was just a lesson to shoot more. I mean, even look at Caulfield. Caulfield, yes, he had 2 snipes, but, you put the puck on net, you're not looking to absolutely get a perfect opening and a perfect shot. He just kinda threw it. Even the game-winning goal, I mean, that was a risky shot to take at the net, but nevertheless, it was a great shot and it paid off. So the Canadians had, I
And
think, 4 shots at the end of the first period,
yeah,
and that's make all the nice plays that you want, but if you're not going to put pucks at the net and at least take some. I rather you take a half decent shot and it gets to the net than try to go for absolute perfection and roof it over top and not have anything to show for it.
but this is crazy how Caulfield 2 goals tonight on 2 shots only. Like to me, 2 shots on net by Cole Caulfield is way below his standards, but yet he's shooting 100, right? So absolutely, and like great, like it's beautiful to see that he's scoring on 2 shots, only 2 shots. But a guy like him, if he's gonna want to score those, like if you want to reach that 40 goal mark, like he's gonna have to shoot a bit more. And we're only 4 games in. It's okay. It's fine. Like it's gonna come. But yeah, it's got to be those games where like sometimes you want to see these habits come early. I really think it will happen. Like for a lot of these players too. Um, One guy I'm really happy for that needed a goal, Kirby Duck.
Yeah. Take them however they come.
I don't care
It's
how you take
it's
it.
it's the number next to your name, not on the back of your jersey, but on the score sheet that counts. Kirby, get that monkey off your back very early, and happy he was in the right place. At
At
the
the
end of
right
the day, he
time.
was in the right place. That's it.
Go to the net. Go to the like we praise Uri Slavkovsky when he does that. Kirby Doc's gonna have to do that too, even if he's a centerman. He's a big body. Just go to the net. Noah Dobson, and I think Noah Dobson knew exactly what he was doing on that play. Noah Dobson knew
Yeah,
exactly where to put the puck on that play. It was
yeah.
perfect. It was perfect. Who? Yeah,
Well, look, Matheson continues, I find, to have a very good game, and again,
+2 tonight.
his time and his use is good. Um, I don't know if there were any other players that absolutely stood out. I wanted to say this, okay? Like
Mhm.
before, and I don't wanna I don't even know where there's room to criticize Demidov after a game, but, like, I keep reminding myself during the game that he's so young
Yeah.
and, like, he's still you clearly see he's still adapting to the
Hmm.
physical game.
Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah.
He's still trying to get his timing right. I think, he's got a great shot. He keeps fanning on the one-timers, like, that is a clear indication that is a very clear indication of he hasn't fully gotten his timing
Well,
yet.
you
At
you
the
know
same
who
time,
used to
Patrick Laine was fanning on his
well Cole
one-timer
Caulfield.
shots all night.
Dude, Cole Caulfield used to fan in when he first came into the league. It's okay. It's normal. It's
So
completely
that's
normal.
it. So that's it. It's just like Demidov, I find with the puck though, is
Hmm.
instantly one of the best decision makers and playmakers
He's so
and
good. He's
just
insane.
brilliant. But
Insane.
again, even after a spectacular game tonight, second star of the game, fantastic game tying goal at the end of the game. Nevertheless,
Man, they
it's good to
needed
keep
that.
everything in context to say, I wonder what this kid is gonna. You're talking about how the team is gonna look. I really wonder how a guy like Demidov is gonna look. He's don't again. We haven't forgotten, and we're just reiterating 2 games last season. Yes, the playoffs, although the playoffs were very, very different. Nevertheless, it was the same team over and over and over. And then next thing you know, we're 4 games. So 4 games, 5 games, 9 games, 11 games, 11 games. Let's see what he's looking like at game 20 of the season. But yeah, there are a lot of positives to draw. A lot of people contributing in doing the right things. Poor Zach Budzik didn't score, I think. And
Yeah,
to
it's
say, I
okay.
wanted to say, I think Cole Caulfield took it personally that other guys were scoring more than him. He caught right on up.
Well, the Demidov goal not only it couldn't have come at a better time, but this is where the power play has to come in, and especially on the second unit, it was the only time we saw Patrick Laine do something, and yet those two again, they have great chemistry on the power play together. You can't separate them. You can't separate them. And I had mentioned in the previous episode my personal opinion on what I like to see the first power play unit, but this is where maybe it's good that those two are on the second power play unit because we saw what they can do. And to me, it was the patience, the poise of anybody else that gets that, and that Patrick Laine pass to the slot was beautiful. Anybody else probably tries to one time it and just put their head down, track the puck, and just fucking put it on net. The poise and the patience on this kid, like, and he's only 19, 20 years old, for him to do that and just backhand roof it. And then, my God, the scream that he let out, the scream that the Bell Center let out, and I'm pretty sure the scream that the rest of the city let out after that goal, it was perfect. It was perfect. That's exactly what he needed. I think that's what Patrick Laine needed too, just maybe for some confidence, just to make himself feel good. You know what I mean? But on the overall, I actually thought the three guys that really stood out were obviously Cole, because that game winner, and what a snipe. Demidov, obviously the goal and the assist. I thought Lane Hudson felt free tonight.
Yeah.
I think that I'm pretty sure everybody could have seen this coming, but I think now that that contract situation finally over, the kid's free, man.
Mm.
I don't know if it's some type of placebo effect, but he looked like he had all the weight of like that world off his shoulders. He looked free now. I don't know how else to explain it. He looked like he looked himself. He really looked himself tonight.
I I don't I didn't have the opportunity to see that the episode that you guys posted for the Lane Hudson contract, but I will allude back to something that you guys surely discussed, how the team basically mugged Lane Hudson at
Yeah, we did,
practice
of course.
to, in celebration of his contract. I think it was it was one of the TSN analysts who calls the games. I love the guy. He does a
Mike
great
Johnson. Is it Mike
Mike
Johnson?
Johnson, that's
Okay.
exactly, and he said,
Former Montreal Canadian, by the way.
former Montreal Canadian, and he said something that was so pertinent. He said, most of the time when your teammate, he goes, and this is just the reality of being in the NHL world, when your teammate is getting a really significant contract, there are guys, not the whole team, but there are guys who are going to think, crap, less money for me. And I don't know if there's going to be much. Not only was it, and again, I might be reiterating something that you guys discussed in length, but I'll bring it back very quickly. All this to say is just to see the camaraderie on the team and like how close they are with one another, how happy they are with one another's success. I mean, that's most certainly contagious. And as you're saying, if you talk to bring it back to tonight, not only is it something that was probably distracting him most waking moments off the ice. While he did have that opportunity to celebrate with his friends, he might have even had extra reassurance as to how much he's loved and appreciated in that locker room.
Yep.
Then he gets to just focus on his game, and he knows that much more that he is loved and valued amongst his hopefully best friends, at least here in Montreal. So yeah, Lane Hudson
No,
skating out there. I
definitely.
think he used the right words. He's skating out there like a free man, and that creativity was there. I think poor kid. I do want to say one thing, one small criticism. I don't know what the heck was going on with the Bell Center ice tonight. Guys were blowing tires left, right, and center, and poor Lane Hudson, who usually
That could be.
abuses that ice with amazing edges. Really, he had a few stumbles. So,
His
Bell
his
Center, just double check the ice, please, please,
his
please.
skates, apparently his skates are like super loose. Like I don't know how he does it. I'd break my own ankles if I try to skate that way with loose skates. But I'm gonna jokingly say that I think Ivan Demidov's performance tonight. He's like, "Hey guys, it's my turn to sign. It's my turn to sign an extension. Like I'm gonna ask for some money too now, or maybe leave some money on the table." But nope, it's you know what, your star players are your star players. Your best players are your best players. Uh, there was one play in overtime. There were multiple uh, I think important moments that happened in overtime that led to Caulfield's goal. You know, I could say about the Suzuki faceoff win, which I think he had a great night on the faceoff.
I think it was like
Suzuki
65%.
62.5%
Uh,
on the faceoff dot. Jake Evans 56.3, Kirby Dog 53.8. The only one who was low was Kapanen at 40%. So imagine that. Like 3 out of your 4 centermen are above 50%. That's fantastic. Brendan Gallagher at 100%. Just saying. Maybe we should put him at the faceoff dot. But
they took a few. I think Slav took a few draws. Newhook took a few draws as well.
Slav, no. New Hook took. Yeah, New Hook is at 40%. So,
Okay.
uh, so you know, there were two. Obviously, the Marty St. Louis timeout I think was great because one thing I was getting really scared about in this overtime, I really thought guys were overextending their shifts a little bit. Like Demidov did it, New Hook did it, I think Kirby Doc did it. But there was one play. How the hell Uri Slavkovsky managed to still keep puck possession and protect it when he got knocked
Onto him.
down by two guys. Like he got hit by one guy, another guy was trying to come. He was able to protect that puck and still keep puck possession. That was so important because I think that play led to Suzuki, Caulfield, and Hudson to come on the ice. They tried to do a play, and Caulfield accidentally ran into the goalie.
Yeah.
Then the next face off, the rest is history. Caulfield with that snipe. But I absolutely love Slavkovsky's performance, at least in overtime. You know, at one point I really thought Demidov that one-on-one rush. I really thought he was gonna like maybe deke the shit out of whoever the
Mhm.
defenseman was, but it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't happen that way. But that's okay. Um,
I do want to highlight one other player, and I invite people to go back and watch it because I thought it was highly uncharacteristic of the guy. Beyond his goal, Alex Newhook was man. He was laying the body. He had a very
yep.
physical game, and it was surprising. Like it really, he threw out some of the biggest hits in the game,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's not even
he
an
had two
overstatement.
hits. Well, he had two hits tonight. That was, no other forward had more than two hits. No, that's sorry. I take that back. I'm watching. I'm looking at Slavkovsky 6 hits, but no, I agree with you. Yeah, and this goes back to which with Caulfield 2 hits. This goes back to Marty saying we want to see some of these guys bring some sandpaper in their game, even though they're not known for that. And I really think Marty's message is slowly having an effect. Like New Hook for sure, Caulfield too. Sometimes he's gonna dish out the hit. It's gonna be nothing crazy, but just to show finisher checks, it could create something. It could be a momentum booster.
You talk about Marty. You have to absolutely go get a screenshot picture, and I'm sure somebody's going to do it. But we have to go get ourselves a screenshot picture of when Marty called the timeout.
Mm-hmm.
He had this ridiculous smirk on his face when he was talking
Yeah,
to
Mark Denise said
Cole,
that.
and like
Mark,
it was
yeah, yeah,
really. I
yeah,
was watching it, and I started laughing. And then about 10, 15 seconds later, Mark Denis started commenting on that, saying,
yeah,
"It's
yeah, yeah,
interesting to see even Saint Louis is having a little bit of a chuckle, but like he looked like he had this borderline evil grin, like this this
yeah.
doomsday plan for Seattle, which again panned out. Like great call by Marty to take that time out to rest up his guys and get them back out onto the ice.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely,
but
absolutely.
we do absolutely need to get a visual of what Marty's
I'm,
face looked like. It
I'm
looked
trying to
like the
find it.
Grinch kind of scheming. I don't know what to say. I don't want to paint Marty as a bad guy, but I'm just saying it was a diabolical smile on the bench.
That's hilarious. Um, Speaking of New Hook, there was one penalty kill where he was just blocking shots. Like, I really think he's embracing his new role. I really think, what I mean, not being a centerman, play the penalty kill. If you don't have that much power play minutes, I, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Him too. He looks so much. He looks more comfortable out there. He really, really does. That penalty kill, he was a beast. He had like at least like 2, 3 block shots. I'm gonna check over here.
I
What blocks? How many blocks? Anderson. Yeah. No, sorry. New Hook. Yeah. Well, it says 1 block, but I'm pretty sure he had 2. But anyways,
That's same goes for his hits. I know that he had, I think, a few that didn't even count, like they were back of the play type thing. Anyways, all this to say is, even him, like, even to continue down with New Hook, there's one thing that Marty's really creating these roles for these guys, and letting them flourish in these newfound roles at times. But the one thing that I will say is a guy like New Hook or even Kapanen, you know, I hope those guys do have the opportunity to get some power play time potentially. I think those are 2 names that could potentially squeeze their way onto a power. How? I don't know. If somebody's
yeah,
in a box, if somebody's injured, if there's something like that. I just think that
I
those 2
think it's gonna
guys,
be injuries.
yeah,
Yeah.
and hopefully
Knock
not
on
knock
wood.
on wood,
Yeah. Knock on wood right now.
but no, but seriously, it's just I I actually had the thought, that I was wondering to myself to say, does New Hook have the potential? Because I find him to be an absolutely great penalty killer with the speed that he has. I wonder if this guy's going to end up scoring a handful of shorthanded goals. Watch him end up scoring more shorthanded goals than power play goals as compared to previous years. That would be something.
Well, who used to score 20 goals for the Canadians without a single power play minute?
Um,
And he was fast. He was a fast skater. I don't think Marty's purposely trying to make this guy make Alex Newhook be like a specific player. I'm pretty sure he wore
I
number
know.
41.
Oh yeah, it was Paul Byron.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that was a huge point of discussion years back. Paul Byron, man. Paul Byron, I wonder who our next Paul Byron could we arguably say that our next Paul Byron or current Paul Byron is Sam Montembeault? Picked up off of waivers
Oh, okay, in
as
that
well.
sense. Oh, okay, in that sense. I guess so. Yeah, if you want to look
Becomes
at
an
it that way.
important individual within the locker room. Picked up off of waivers, both of them, and
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
get what
It's a little bit of a stretch.
I get what you're saying as far as like a waiver claim that ended up becoming a really important piece of the team. Yeah, I could see that. Uh, Obviously, a forward, speed, penalty killer, could score goals with the speed. I am thinking you hook, but I get your point. But speaking of Montembeault, uh, all those goals, like it was bad luck. Like it was lucky bounces. It was bad luck on the Canadians' part. Lucky bounces. A shot's blocked, loose puck, able to just shoot it in, but except for their power play goal. But part of me still thinks that Montembeault might have had a bit of a tough time tracking that puck a little bit. I mean, one goal was a power play goal. There's not much he can do. One goal he was screened, okay, that off the point, but the other ones were like a shot was coming in, it was
Shin
blocked, and
pad. There was
yeah.
one off of a
Oh my
like
god. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there were 2 fluky goals. One that was the block shot where, I think it was McCann and Jackeye, and it shot off McCann, and Arbor
Dude.
looks to where, he thinks, and McCann just gets to fire
Yeah,
off another,
he's tracking, he's
which
just sticking to his player.
Monty, that was an okay goal by Monty, but then the one
Mhm.
off of, let's say, the young kid, his name was Nye mm, NY crap, why am I not it's been a long day, very, very long day, but,
Nyman? Nyman?
Nyman, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it just went off of his shin pad, then there was one good
Yeah.
goal, don't get me wrong, of course, it would be Shane Wright who sets up the goal, cross ice pass on the power play, but nevertheless, I wouldn't say Monty was great, I wouldn't say that he was bad, I don't know
No,
how
no,
well he was
exactly.
tracking the puck on a few of those, some definite puck luck by the Seattle Kraken to have put 4 past, Monty, but, do definitely hope that we're gonna get to see a little bit of Dobesh.
I
Kid's
I
been playing
I
fantastically well, and again, I think
yeah,
you
I
know
agree.
deserves
I
a
th-
game this week.
I want to see Dobesh Thursday against Nashville.
Yeah.
I really think they should. You know what? That's kind of the way I'd like to see it. Unless it's back to back games, like 2 games Monty, 1 game Dobesh, 2 games Monty, 1 game Dobesh, back to back. It's 1-1, obviously. But yeah, Thursday night against Nashville. Nashville lost against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Um, one last topic that we have to bring up: the signing and extension of both Jeff Gorton and Kent Hughes. That was announced Tuesday morning, couple of hours, maybe not even 24 hours after Elaine Hudson extension. This is, I really believe this management, this ownership is dead serious on not only what they're doing for this rebuild, but really trying to bring a cup within the next 5 years. Hence why they extended both Hughes and Gordon 5 years.
I think. Well, there was also, don't forget the promotion for Jeff Gorton to really make him was it president of hockey operations essentially.
Yeah,
I'm getting the title. I'm getting the title wrong, but some well deserved recognition. I don't. I think, okay, number one, they've locked in the two masterminds behind everything, or 95% of the good things that have been happening with this organization in the past 3.5, 4 seasons. That's
it's
one.
crazy.
These guys have
It's
done an
crazy.
outstanding job. There's all sorts of noise from the outside. There have been a number
Yeah.
of teams which have come and try to scoop up or open up discussions, ask to open up discussions with Jeff Gorton. That has been blocked time and time again, and I think this is a great nod. Number two is I don't think Jeff Gorton or Kent Hughes are stupid either. I think they know what's coming just as well as the rest of the organization. Like you said, the next 5 years plus, with all of the core locked up, essentially, we just have a couple more guys that I think are going to get locked up in the next year or two with us for long term contracts. But I think that we know, they both know that we have, as an organization, a chance at multiple cups over the next 5 to 7 years. And the only other thing that I would say about these guys is, again, I'm gonna try not to sound too over the top, but the Montreal Canadiens went down such an a unique and new route in bringing these two very different guys in. I look at Kent Hughes as the master negotiator and contract, guy to talk contracts and to do the business side of the deals. But I think Jeff Gorton, and he flies under the radar a little bit more because he doesn't speak as much French, and we just don't see him in front of the cameras as much. But I think Jeff Gorton has a really keen eye for whether it be young talent, older
Oh
talent.
yeah.
Like, I think
Oh yeah.
he's just I think he's just as much behind some of the really good moves and the style of players. Like, I think of Jeff Gorton is probably the guy who's saying, "This is the style of game that I think we can absolutely thrive with. Kent, can you make this happen?" That's the
Oh yeah.
way I see it, and that's why I think they have such a special tandem. And years from now, and this is what I'm saying, I'm hoping that I don't sound too over the top, but I genuinely can see the Montreal Canadiens winning the Stanley Cup, and in the years that follow, they discuss this uniqueness of bringing in these two very different hockey minds with, very little high level management. Not Jeff Gorton, but Kent Hughes, very little high level management. A coach who doesn't have any experience in his coaching junior hockey, his kids in junior hockey. Same thing as Stéphane Robida. They really, if you look at the organization and all the managerial and coaching decisions that they've made, um, the Montreal Canadiens did something really, really unique. And at the end of the day, to come full circle, it's just that I'm so happy that the Montreal Canadiens and Jeff Molson opened up his pocketbook or his wallet and paid these guys well, because as long as these guys are here, like, just what they've put together, and everybody's been talking about the core that's been locked up. These guys, like, we didn't get to that yet, and the cap hasn't changed, but these guys have essentially allowed us to lock in all the players that are making everything right happen within this organization, while still having the capacity to go sign somebody like Connor McDavid, who having as much cap as they will, I mean, it's an over exaggeration, but they will have that type of money to go play with, thanks to what these two have put together on the ice and locked up business wise. So, anyways, I'll stop it there. Well earned. So happy to have these guys here, and as long as they're here, I think we're going to be one of the most competitive teams.
To me, I think Jeff Molson deserves a lot of credit too for trusting these guys. First of all, he deserves all the credit to probably step out of his comfort zone as the CEO of the Montreal Canadiens and really do a proper rebuild when he saw that it just wasn't working out with Marc Bergevin anymore. And he probably, maybe Marc Bergevin is the one too that was like, I'm not sure I could do this anymore. I given all I could. You know what I mean? So good on Jeff Molson for making that initial change into a market where he thought for a long time he never would have been able to do this. So that leadership starts at the top, and then when he trusts Jeff, he met Jeff Gorton, trusts the work and the capability that he has in terms of hockey brain, and then to have the trust of Jeff Gorton to hire an agent, be your general manager of your team in Kent Hughes, and then to top it all off, to have the trust in both of them, like you said, to go get a guy who's never coached in the NHL in Marty St. Louis. You know what I mean? Like it starts at the top, and Jeff Molson, like, he deserves the credit. Like you said, this guy cares. This guy cares about this team. It was in his family for a long time. And when he said it at the beginning of the first season of the documentary, The Rebuild, he's like, every single member of my family that was part of this organization got to have a Stanley Cup. He's like, I didn't. I'm the only one in my family. Like, that means something to him. He wants one badly. I don't care what people say. Like, Jeff Molson cares about this team to the point where, like, even if he says, like, there's times where I don't sleep. If he doesn't sleep, because he fucking cares. Doesn't care about beer sales. Yeah, maybe he does. He cares about his business for sure, but he cares about this team. He cares about this team winning. He wants a Stanley Cup just as much as these players, the management, the coaches, the fans. Like, he's a fan too, except he just owns it.
He's a passionate fan at that. You see
except,
his eyes,
except
his
he owns
eyes
the
light up.
team.
Well, that's the thing. It's crazy to see. He owns the team, but like, he wouldn't miss it for the world type of
No,
thing. You
of
see
course
his
not.
eyes
Of
light up
course,
when he talks about them, and he's like that childhood wonder and awe that
a
he
thousand
has
percent.
for his respective team. And
A thousand,
anyhow,
a thousand
it's
percent. But my last point in all this is that, Chris, do you not think that players all around are seeing this? That players all around are seeing how Lane Hudson is taking a major pay cut for 8 years? Like, never mind Connor McDavid. Good, great on him and the Edmonton Oilers for taking a pretty much a major pay cut, but only for 2 years. Understandably so. He's not coming off an entry level deal and all that. He's still, Connor McDavid will always be elite, but like, he's entering his late 20s, so it's understandable. It's understandably so. Fucking back to back Stanley Cup losses. Look, I'm giving you guys 2 years. Yeah, no, but man, when other teams see that Nick Suzuki, Lane Hudson, Cole Caulfield, Uri Slavkovsky, Noah Dobson, and Caden Gooley are locked in for 6 years plus, maybe not Suzuki, but you know what I mean? The core is locked in for at least 5 years. It's going to attract players, man. I really think now we're going to reach that point where players do want to come here.
well,
Leave alone the taxes discussion. Leave alone the weather. Like, people love Montreal all year round. Okay,
well, there's
it's yeah.
sorry. There are two things that right away with what you say. Number one, I don't think, and we genuinely do have to do some homework on this and exactly how it would play out. And I mean, we don't know the state that in which Lane Hudson resides in, but apparently one of the big loopholes. And
Mm-hmm.
again, you're talking about having an agent, a former player agent as a GM. they put a heavy amount in signing bonuses or in bonuses, and that is a lot more favorable on the tax side. So
Yep.
y rather
Yeah.
than having it in a salary
For
that
for the
Hudson
American for the American
for
though.
the
Yeah.
American
Yeah.
exactly, for an American resident and not only resident, but an American citizen and a resident of the
Working
United
in
States.
Canada.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
number 1, they found a very creative loophole,
Mm-hmm.
and they might have to continue to exploit that, but it gives me hope that, again, we have the right people in place that are making the right deals that are, if we cannot again, there were talks that there was no way that this deal could be under 10 million. They found a way. And then number 2 is, I said it jokingly. You're talking about players being attracted to the market. Yes, I say it jokingly because I do not want to see Connor McDavid leave Edmonton. I just there's something sentimental about it. Wayne Gretzky, Connor McDavid, I think they're in the same echelon, believe it or not. And I would say I would love to see him play out win there and play out his career there. Ideally, at least the most significant part of it. I think a parting of ways would leave the fans in Edmonton very sour. But I will say this: come those 2 years on top of this year, so 3 years from now, if the Edmonton Oilers have not been able to secure a Stanley Cup victory, mark my words, with the salary cap going up, with
Mm-hmm.
contracts like Anderson, Gallagher, Laine that are long gone, with these very team friendly contracts, mark my words once again, it's not out of the realm of possibility that a guy like Connor McDavid is looking and saying, I want to win a Stanley Cup. Where can I go that A, they can pay me, but B, and most importantly, so maybe reverse, let's say B, where can they pay me? But A, where can I win? Montreal is truly going to be in a position to win, and they will have the funds and the space necessary to bring in these players. Is it going to be Connor McDavid? Please, please, please. That is like the ultimate dream, but we're so far asleep here
I
in
yeah,
terms of this being a dream.
I
But there
was
are other players that we'll be able to go get.
I was sure Jack Eichel might have been a possibility, but he signed his extension with Vegas. But maybe, dude, you gotta be so curious now. I want to go check the free agent list for the next season or two. Like we know in 2 years, obviously it's Connor McDavid. Free agents here. Can we get Nathan McKinnon, please?
Oh
Can
my
we get
god.
Nathan?
Yeah.
No, hold on a sec. No, that's not him. No, excuse me. No, Panarin, Ovechkin, Laine, John Carlson, Jacob Trouba, Anze Kopitar
Just
is taking
imagine
his retirement.
Panarin and
Mart,
Demidov.
Mart, dude, Marty Nietzsche's Malkin, he's gonna retire. I really thought Nathan McKinnon was on this list. I was like, no, wait a minute. Yeah, no, there's not that many big names here. No, not Tarasenko. Sorry, you're not the same player anymore. Trying to I'm looking. No, the only big name superstar is Panarin, but he's 33. Ovechkin's 40 already. John Carlson, no. Like I said, Kopitar, McDonough, maybe Marty Nietzsche's, maybe, but I
I
don't know.
think it would come in a trade. I think
To
there
be
would be a good chance that it'll be
to
an
be,
off-season trade.
but my last point in all this, as far as Jeff Gordon, Kent Hughes are concerned, they treat these players like people, not products. You know what I mean? They there's always going to be that transparency and that honesty. But to me, my level of respect for Kent Hughes went. Remember that when that whole trade with Jeff Petrie happened again, but he's like, but don't
Yeah.
worry, like I'm gonna accommodate you and like and all that stuff that followed afterwards. Like ever since that happened, like I really felt like okay, like this guy, like he takes the human element into this the business. He doesn't just treat them as like he doesn't treat them as product. He treats them as human beings. He really
Well,
does. And that goes a long way too. That sends a big message to players along all around the league.
I was covering my eyes and shaking my head because what you got me thinking something which was a clear indicator of what kind of a horrible environment, and and sorry to say, this is thing of the past, but it was I would say, a toxic environment. You had Mike Camilleri, who was arguably one of our best players, get traded mid-game by Pierre
Oh
Gauthier.
my
Like,
god, that was
that
awful.
is something that you
Don't
don't do
do.
that.
No.
You don't do that, and like you said, what kind of a message does that send out to the league? And I think, again, let's go back to certain elements that have been discussed in this podcast alone, or this episode alone, is, players are happy to see each other, they see each other's success, see one of their top teammates get paid, see that they're going to be able to stay together for a long period of time. You have a very dynamic coach who's, a breath of fresh air over and over. You have management who treats players not only like humans, but shows clear examples of care and going out of their way to look after their and their family's well-being. And then you top it off with the arguably the most important thing in all of that. They are starting to become a winning organization. There is no doubt in my mind that Montreal is an absolute hotspot, and that's the other thing too. I guess I want to cap off, like, another element that we talked about. Look at Ken Dryden's mask resting on that net and what it meant.
Yep.
This city, number one, has a culture of winning. It's been so long since we've won, but it's in our blood, and we are absolutely dying to see it again. You come and you win here. It's not you just winning a Stanley Cup. You are an untouchable. You are a citizen and a child of Montreal for life, for as long as you win and
You're
thereafter.
immortal. You're
So
immortal. It's
you are
you,
immortal.
you really got the key to immortality of this city.
And it's
Like,
more like, arguably more so than certain artists and actors and other
mhm.
things, like hockey players truly speak to the hearts of most citizens and people who are living here in Quebec. And I think you put all those things together, the management, the coaching, the winning, the culture, and then I want to go to Montreal. I want to be responsible for maybe not only bringing cup back to Canada if Edmonton doesn't do it, but also, stamping my name on Lord Stanley in arguably the best place that you can do so. There
Yeah.
won't be any. There won't be any, you know, traffic players standing on the corner of Crescent Street with just a couple people honking. These guys will not be able to go anywhere in the city
I'm just
without being given free
yeah.
things, hugs, just pure love, pure love.
I'm listening to you, but the other half of my brain is just hearing who's gonna pass the torch from Bob Cole's announcement, now a 24th Stanley Cup banner. Who's gonna grab a hold of that torch and say, and now a 25th Stanley Cup banner will hang in the rafters of the Bell Center.
Can
I'm
I
wondering who's gonna be next. I'm just trying to picture the English version, and yeah,
So
yeah.
can I the English version? I don't know. The
The
English
fir-
version, I don't know, but I do want to address something that was also very curious. RDS had Marie-France Bélanger
Mhm.
on the pregame show, or like Hockey 360 at
Yep.
6:30.
Yep.
And there was a very, very interesting remark. And this is something, as a fan, if you guys don't necessarily have Bell or Videotron or a street, like a television service, Crave is having, and we're not sponsored by Crave. Crave, if you want to embark and sponsor us, more than happy to give you a little bit of recognition. But I was already paying for Crave. I added an extra RDS package for, I think, less than $10 a month. All that to say is, very interesting conversation, because they did bring it up that we already have the rebuild that's on Crave,
Mhm.
and now RDS is directly affiliated again with Crave.
Mhm.
And there was almost kind of this stipulation that we need to kind of, how would we say, we need to be present where people are now going to watch their TV and get their entertainment, and she clearly alluded to that platform again, Crave TV. And I really got the feeling in my bones that they are testing this out to see how it goes, and if it goes well, I wouldn't be surprised to have 82 games of Montreal Canadiens broadcasted by RDS on Crave as early as the next season or two. And if that's
Dude.
the thing, I would love to see Pierre Hood calling playoff hockey for the Montreal Canadiens, because if there's anybody who deserves to call the Montreal Canadiens winning a Stanley Cup, it would be Pierre Hood.
Oh my god,
Mic drop.
you just give me a shiver of hope because I didn't want to mention the French because no disrespect to anybody else who does it, but Pierre Hood is my French announcer from start to finish. When I started watching hockey at a young age, I I don't remember what season it was on LDS, but it was Pierre Hood, and it forever stayed Pierre Hood. It's no disrespect to anybody else, no disrespect to any other channels out there, whether it's TV, radio. For me, it's Pierre Hood, and there's no debate. Pierre Hood is my goat for French broadcasting Montreal Canadiens games, and s'arrête là, là. There's nothing else I
Yeah,
could
there
say.
is nobody who's close.
There's nobody.
Sorry.
There's
Even
nobody who's close.
I mean, we're not comparing TV to radio, because there are some great French
There are,
announcers
but he's my top,
on, but he's, yeah.
and that's it. That's it. That's it. That's all.
S- So end of the day, folks, don't be afraid to get yourself the RDS package. You can watch it anywhere. If you're on the go, you can watch it on your mobile phone. I love having that
Yeah.
up at the cottage. Can watch the game that way in great
It's
quality,
the American
and
viewers, though. I don't think they have access to Crave.
because they don't have Crave. But if they were to have
Yeah.
a VPN,
Hmm.
technically they could. So, for
Okay.
American users who are looking to get the game as well, and hello to our American fans out there. If you're looking to get the games, they are currently broadcasting 62 games, I believe, on RDS during the regular season.
Hmm.
Saturday night games, I mean, if you log into, let's say, City TV or CBC, you can usually stream that free online as well in good quality. But all that to say is, if you're looking to watch the grand majority of the games throughout the week and want to have that on your mobile phone, and do have access to a VPN, then you absolutely can do so through Crave. And you also get the opportunity to watch the rebuild, which is another thing that we love talking about. So there's more to come, and I really, really would kill to see the day where Pierre Hood gets to call playoff hockey games for the Montreal Canadiens again. I think that would just, like Deadpool. That feels so
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Then I think we got to end it on that note. No, that was very, very well said. Um, yeah. Final score 5-4. The Montreal Canadiens beat the Seattle Kraken in overtime. Goals from Newhook, Doc, Demidov, and Caulfield. 2 goals, especially game winner in overtime. What a fucking goal that was. Excuse my language, but that's just the way it is. A big thank you to everybody who tuned in on this post game show. If you watch us on YouTube, once again, please click like and subscribe. It's absolutely free. Share it with your friends. If you watch this on Twitter, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Please give us a follow and give us an honest rating and review. Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast. Like I said, 5-star rating and review, please and thank you. It's the only way we could feel the love and keep this Montreal Canadiens community growing. A big thank you to our sponsors, Les Délices Lafrenière, Habs Cave, Mike's Barbecue Rub. Give them a follow on Instagram and or TikTok. I am Chris. Nope, that is wrong. I am
Hey,
Sammy.
Chris.
He is Chris. It's late. We're tired, but we're already looking forward to another post-game show Thursday night as the Montreal Canadiens welcome the Nashville Predators again at the Bell Center. Chris, as always, this was lots and lots of fun. You know what I mean?
Did we lose you, Sam?
No,
Oh,
I'm still
lost
here.
you for a second there.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here, buddy. Anyways, Chris, thanks so much once again for doing this with me. I'll see you next episode. We'll see you all next episode. Until then, bye now. Good night.